Yes guys, what is going on, and welcome to another video here on my channel. So today we have a little bit of a different video for you guys, but something that I thought would be extremely beneficial to a lot of you that potentially follow my channel as maybe some sort of inspiration, or follow my other social media platforms, because you may aspire to grow a social media following and become kind of a social media influencer, although I don't really like that term. I thought I would just share my insight on how to grow on social media, how to earn money from first-hand experience. So this, you see a lot of people on YouTube or making videos about how to grow on social media, and they're people just giving advice. They don't have the social media presence themselves, or their focus may be more on businesses as opposed to becoming your own personal brand and growing your social media in that sense. So I wanted to share my personal experience and the whole journey, and just give you my best tips and tricks in order to grow. Now, I want you to bear in mind that at the beginning of this year, I had about 750 followers on Instagram, and I've now got over 50,000. And on TikTok, I had something like 3,000 followers, and I'm now on 128,000 or something like that. So everything I'm going to be giving you advice on here is the steps I've actually taken to build my social media accounts over that time. And now a little background. So I've been a personal trainer and online coach for 5 years, and obviously when I started that journey, I made an Instagram. That was the only social media platform that I had. I was posting on it, I was not taking it seriously at all. I was probably posting once a week, maybe even twice a week if you average it out at best. Initially, obviously when I first started, it was a little bit more, but yeah, if you average it out, I wasn't posting frequently. The quality of the content was really poor, and I just didn't really know too much about social media. And it was all about, how to grow your following, and everything I was looking into was kind of not organic ways of growing your following, like following people to get them to follow you back, or messaging people, engagement groups, things like this, where you're not going to build a sustainable following, or you're not actually getting people that are interested in your content. You're getting, without buying your followers, you're essentially getting fake followers because they don't care about what you post. You'll notice that your engagement's never good. They don't like, because it's just a follow for a follow. So ultimately what I realized is building my following was not going to be the most important thing. It was about creating the content that people actually enjoyed to watch, which takes time to obviously find out. So I'm going to go into different factors now about your content initially, to give you advice on what you should post. Then I'm going to discuss how you can earn money on social media. So like I said, the most important thing is your content. Now there's two factors I want to talk about here. There's quality of content and quantity of content. Now, the most important thing is how good is your content. So to get the views, to generate views, the best thing is going to be having great content. It doesn't matter how much of it you post. If it's great content, it will generate the views, it will generate the engagement, and therefore it will generate followers. However, creating quality content isn't just something that just happens. You don't just have all these ideas. Obviously, even if you're a creative person, which I would say I am, because I've consistently got videos that have hit millions of views, there's still times when I struggle to think of ideas. There's times when I think I've got a good idea and then it just doesn't do well, or I don't know exactly how to execute it to make it the best it can possibly be. There's loads of different things. So creating a quality idea that's going to go viral is hard. So that's when I now turn to quantity. So people always say value quality over quantity. However, quantity is so important when it comes to social media. So how much you're posting. When you first start social media, and if you're not entirely sure on your route, the best thing you can do is just post as much as you can, because over time you'll establish what people actually enjoy to watch. And you're gonna have to accept that some of your content's not gonna be good. It's gonna underperform. It may be cringy when you look back on it. It may be a really bad idea, but how are you ever gonna get to a stage where you have good ideas if you haven't learned what's bad or what people aren't interested in? It's a process of trial and error. And that is one thing that when I was trying to grow initially years ago, it was hardly ever spoken about. It was all these other things tiptoeing around the actual main point. And it may be hard to accept that, oh, well, I don't know how to come up with good ideas. But social media at the end of the day it shouldn't be taken lightly as if it's just something that everyone can be successful in. There's so many different things that go into it. It's like any business. Just because you want to do it, or just because it's something you enjoy, doesn't always necessarily mean you can make it a success. But the main thing to understand from what I'm saying is cutting corners and trying to get followers in a way where you just follow for a follow, or you start engaging with people's content so that they engage with your content. That's not going to build a substantial, sustainable, organic audience that companies are then going to want to pay you for. And I realized that by being that person that I'm trying to get you guys not to be. So from that, what I want you to take is start off by posting a lot. Post whatever comes to your mind. The things that you don't think are good, the things that you think could be good. Sometimes the things that you think could be good will end up bad. Sometimes the things you don't think will be good can end up good. You just have to accept that process and use that as your learning process. You'll establish what the quality content is from that process of trial and error, and eventually, you know, you'll establish that niche audience and hopefully grow. Like, I've always obviously been into fitness. That's what I do for a job. Fitness content was always what I was posting, but I was posting like workout routines, and everyone knows that that is probably the most saturated thing when it comes to fitness, is what to do, exercise, what to eat, how to lose weight. But I kind of targeted a niche, which, don't get me wrong, there's people that do it, but it was, you know, fitness, entertainment, humor, relatable moments. Like, if you think about the top comedians in the world, most of the stuff that they say that is funny is the stuff that you relate to, the experiences that you can think, oh my God, I've gone through that as well, and then they'll put a jokey twist on it. And that's exactly what I try and do with my content now, is post those funny, kind of be that comedy gym guy that everyone relates to the moments. And you know, that's where we're establishing that audience, where it's a community of people that all go to the gym. We all go through the same thing, so you're not alone. And that's where I really have delved into that. And you know, luckily I've grown now to, I mean, I think my growth in 9 months, 10 months now has been insane. You have to keep reinventing your content. You can't kind of stay on the same path. However, you need to start somewhere. You know, don't get too ahead of yourself. Kind of be patient with the process, establish that audience like I said, and then when you get to a point where you feel like maybe it's time for something new, like for example now I've thought, don't get me wrong, I'm always going to stick to my classic content that will never leave my page, and I don't think it should, because you'll have that loyal following that enjoyed that content and will always love that following. But I've started to add more like skits now, where I actually am myself, or I play a character and it's actually me talking, whereas before on TikTok and Reels it was always me, you know, lip syncing to a sound. But now I'm actually being myself. I've also started a series where I travel to different gyms around the UK, and hopefully I'm going to take that globally and start looking for the best gym in the world. And that is something with social media and any business that has to happen over time. You know, you adapt to the times and you keep learning. And if you want to keep growing, you have to think, how am I going to keep appealing to new people? You know, the people that are following me already like seeing what they're seeing, but how am I going to now find that new audience? Because obviously they've been open to maybe my videos in the past, but they haven't chosen to follow me. So you have to think, what could be the reason why? Summarizing that point, quantity is going to be important at the start. Post a lot, understand what's going to work for you. That will take months. I mean, I've luckily done it in a short space of time. It's very hard to have the growth that I've had in such a short space of time, and I wouldn't want you guys to come away from this video and think that if you do everything that I'm doing, that you'll have the same amount of growth. However, you will definitely grow 100%. Like, I've helped my friends out, kind of given advice, even to family members as well, giving them advice on little tips and tricks that work, like the things I'm telling you now, and just, you've seen their page has grown. It may not be to the extent that my page has grown, but you know, they're in a better position than they were. And as time goes on and they just keep figuring themselves out, eventually they could have that spell where it just takes off to an insane amount. It ends up becoming their job. Now, the most important thing when actually delving into how you grow and how you get views is going to be watch time. Now, you may think, well, if you're getting a lot of likes, surely they'd push that video. But the key to all these apps is them getting you to spend as much time on the app as possible. Now, someone could scroll on your video, go, haha, tap, 2 seconds, gone. They haven't watched your whole video. That's obviously not keeping them on the app. What the app wants to know is that video keeping them on the app for a prolonged period of time? So when you post a video, you have to think, how likely is it that someone's actually going to watch, if not the whole video, at least the majority? Or how likely is it that they'll loop the video and watch it multiple times? Because if you can get that is when the video is going to start being pushed and pushed, because TikTok, Instagram is going to realize, oh, well, people like this video, let's keep pushing it. They'll watch it, they'll keep watching it. That's what's going to keep people on this app. And they'll do that with thousands, millions of creators, and that's what's going to keep people on the app. That's how these algorithms work. They want people on the app. Because the reason I say that engagement doesn't always matter as much is because I've had videos that have had like 3-4 million views and maybe like 80,000 likes, and if you look at the ratio of likes to views, it's not that good really. If you actually look at it, it's not even like 2.5% of the likes to views ratio. It's pretty bad. But what it did is it kept people on the app. People were watching it, trying to figure it out. I remember that particular video that I'm talking about. It was about a gym scenario that we all go through. It created a little bit of a debate in the comments, and sometimes that's good because people were on the comments, the video's looping in the background and they're engaging. So obviously there's other times when I've had videos that have gone completely viral and the likes are insanely high as well. But the main thing as to why it would have got so many views is because people were watching it. And obviously if they like to watch it, they're more inclined to press the like button. But my point is, that doesn't always necessarily equate to you getting pushed to loads and loads of people. And the most important thing to gain followers is obviously how many people you're pushed to. If you're pushed to more and more people, then you'll gain more followers. Obviously, you don't want to neglect engagement entirely. You know, it's important to make sure that your content's getting likes and that you're promoting things that people enjoy watching. I would never want to be a controversial creator. I don't like to kind of have any negative stigma around my pages. I just like to be fun, creative, enjoyable to watch, and that's literally all I ever want to be. Moving on from that, obviously now taking into consideration what I said about quantity, the most important thing is that you are consistent, okay? If you are consistent from the moment you start and you keep that going and you ride the waves, you ride the fact that it's not gonna go well straight away, every video you post isn't gonna do well, even when you start doing well, you may have ones that don't do well. If through all of that you can remain consistent, when I say consistent, I mean post on Instagram at least once a day, posting on TikTok again at least once a day, but if not, 2-3 times a day, which is what I've been doing. YouTube, you know, at least once or twice a week. YouTube isn't something I've really touched on in this video because you probably see from my subscriber count, I'm not that grown on YouTube yet. I'm still in the process of learning. So I think it'd be interesting for you guys to, you know, kind of follow from this journey. If you do watch this video, see where my YouTube takes me, because I've been consistent for a while, don't get me wrong, and I've posted good videos, but subscribers I find are the hardest thing to gain and, you know, to generate a lot of YouTube views. I think because it's so rewarding from Google AdSense and stuff, it's the hardest platform to build just like viewers and stuff. So on that note, if you want to help me out, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like this video if you're finding it informative and helpful. That would be great, and comment down below if you found benefit to this video, and if you want to see me make more videos, you know, about social media and business and helping you guys grow, I'd be more than happy to do it on this channel because I think it's great to share my own personal experience with you guys. If you can ride those waves and be consistent, your time will come. It's just, you know, you just have to dedicate yourself to it, be creative, really analyze how content performs, take into consideration what does well for other people, use that as inspiration, and keep sticking to it. Do not give up. That is the main thing. And tying on from that, you have to be patient when in this social media game, because it is not going to always go well, like I've said. And I think it kind of all ties in with what I'm saying from before. If you can ride those waves, that's a matter of patience. You know, you're going to know that it's not going to do well all the time. It's not necessarily going to go, you know, straight up and you're going to gain loads of followers overnight and be an internet sensation in literally 24 hours. Although that is possible with social media, we've seen it with loads of people. I'm just saying that if you can do all these things and be patient and look at it like any other business, where you're not just necessarily going to start it and it's going to do well, and you understand that there's a process of growing, understanding what works well, what people want to see, then eventually you should do well. If you're really passionate about it and you have a passion that you want to present to other people, there is no reason why you can't grow. And this is what I think people don't understand, that social media, when you have your page, it's like a shop front, and it's like any other business. Just because it's something that people can also do to share an experience with their friends and family, and it's all very relaxed, doesn't mean that it's going to always be for everyone when they try and turn it into a business. You know, trying to make it a success through Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, it's a very, very hard thing because it can be extremely rewarding. It may be easier for some than others, but look at it like any business that you would want to grow. Make sure you're taking the time to produce great quality content that people genuinely want to watch, and make sure you're understanding why things aren't doing well and taking initiative from that, and then kind of always looking to grow, always looking to change, always looking to do what you think people want to see. Now, I've touched on it already, but I want to just talk about a little bit more how many times a day you should post, how often you should post. Does the time of the day make any difference as to how your content performs? And now, having done this for a long time, I would say for Instagram and TikTok, the most important thing is that you post at least once a day on your feed or your Reels feed. And when it comes to Instagram, prioritize reels over photos, because that is the way the world is moving. You know, slightly longer than pictures so people can spend more time watching it, but short videos, you know, where people are constantly interacting, watching those videos. That is what Instagram is pushing at the moment. Obviously it always changes, but it's very clear that they're moving away from the photos. Like my reels perform amazingly, and then when I post a picture, it doesn't do anywhere near the kind of engagement or exposure that my reels do. So I would say post a reel a day, post at least a TikTok a day, post actively on your story 3 to 5 times a day, I would say, on your story. And if you do post a picture on a certain day, one thing I've learned, still post a reel. Try not to take a day off of posting a reel. That's what I do, and it kind of constantly keeps it ticking. When something's performing well, it kind of pushes the new video to that person, because they think, oh well, this guy's a good creator, let's see how his other video would do with the people that seem to like his last video, and it kind of normally generates some views and things like that. With your stories and stuff, get people engaging with your stories, put polls up, put questions up, engage with your audience. That's what they want. They want people to stay on the app. Like I said, one thing you don't want to do that much is divert people away from Instagram. So diverting people to your YouTube channel, diverting people to an external website. At the end of the day, no business wants you to leave. So why would they, although they're helping you by giving you the option to send people there, they're not gonna promote it to a lot of people, as in they're not gonna keep spreading your page when they see that you're kind of trying to divert people away from their platform. So it's good for you, because when you grow your Instagram, obviously you can build audiences on other platforms, but understand that when you do post those stories where it's diverting to other pages, like let's say you put a new YouTube video up and you put a link in there to your YouTube video, you will notice that your story views will 100% drop off. Also, if you post TikToks on Reels as well, make sure you don't save the TikTok and post it on Instagram with the watermark on it, because if it sees it's from TikTok, Instagram doesn't want that. So the best solution to that is there's a website you can use. I'll actually link it in the description. You basically just copy the link, it will save it without the watermark. Sometimes it can be a little bit out of sync, so what I do is I go onto CapCut, I then put the saved video in there, and I just extract the audio, tweak it a little bit to kind of sync it up with the way my lips are moving, and then just export it and then post it on Instagram as a reel. TikTok to Reels does 100%, 1,000,000% work. Like I've had videos I've done insanely well on TikTok, posted them on Instagram, and they've done even better than my TikTok did. So yeah, make sure you keep that in mind. When it comes to the time of day, now what you've got to remember is when you're on social media, you are hitting the whole world. You're not just hitting where you live, you know, the country that you're in. You're hitting America, you're hitting Europe, you're hitting Australia, India, China, all these places that have completely different time zones. So finding an exact time to post that's gonna suit everyone is never gonna happen. But what I try to do to have a rough idea is just focus on times when I believe people will be more likely to be on their phone, so you can get more of that instant engagement, which is more likely to kind of push the video out a little bit more. So for example, based on UK time, I try to aim either between 12 and 1 when people would be on like a lunch break, or 5 PM to 7 PM when people are kind of leaving work, maybe on the train home, or they've just got home, they're relaxing in front of the TV, they're on their phone. Obviously I'm using UK time for that basis to kick on from, but if you try and always you can't suit every country, it's impossible. And over time I've kind of found that the rhythm I've got myself in, it's worked. And that's another thing you might have to just trial and error with, what time of days work for you. I always try and post my reels around the middle of the day, and then they kind of just over time just gradually pick up. So I'm assuming that they may hit the UK audience, and then kind of, because it's done well, as people in the USA are getting up out of bed or whatever, and they go on their phone, it's kind of already there for them to see. So yeah, again, just play around with time of day, but think about when people are most likely to be on their phones. That is the most important thing. Don't go posting at midnight on a Saturday night when you know most people are out probably having a drink, you know, enjoying themselves. You don't want to be doing things like that. You're less likely to hit an audience. So although again, it's anywhere in the world, it could happen still, so it's not an impossible thing to happen, but I think that's a good kind of basis to focus on when thinking about the time of day to post your content. Now, I think I've given you guys a lot of important advice now on social media and how to grow. So take everything that I've said on board, go away, think about what I've said. If you guys want to shoot me any questions about this video, obviously you can put it in the comment section, or you can head over to my Instagram and DM me. I will definitely respond. I'm extremely active. That's actually a good point to bring up, because make sure you respond to people in your DMs. Don't leave people on red. Like, it wants you to engage, because again, if they're DMing you constantly, that means they're on the app for longer. Again, also reply to requests, go through your requests, speak to people that or maybe don't know you, they're asking you questions. Just engage constantly. It's only going to benefit you. Engage with your audience though. Don't start going away to engage with other people to try and gain followers and stuff. Just engage with your audience, and it will definitely work best for you. So yeah, any questions you guys got, feel free to ask. Now, moving on to the final point, which is how do you make money on social media? Now, if you guys want me to make a video talking about exactly how much I earn and my revenue streams and what I get paid, I'll be happy to do that, not because I want to boast or anything, but because I think it's insightful for you guys to know the potential maybe for someone of my following, what they kind of get paid. But what I will say in terms of where you can get paid, so with TikTok, there's a creator fund. It's not great, to be honest. You have to be getting an insane amount of views to even get anything minorly worthy of talking about on a monthly basis. That's the first thing. But the main thing will be when you have TikTok and Instagram, will be your sponsorships, your brand deals, all that type of thing. So as you guys may know, I'm sponsored by Vanquish. So if you guys want to get anything from Vanquish, unfortunately I don't have a discount code, but if you shop through my link and it's your first time buying from VQ, you can get 10% off just by subscribing and putting your email in and stuff. But if you shop through my link, it will massively support me, so I would appreciate that. This is their new range, oversized tees, nice new short shorts and stuff. They're kind of like a mesh short, basketball shorts, so they're sick. And also I'm sponsored by Ghost. So they're my two current main full-time sponsorship. I'm actually on a contract with both of them. I'm not going to tell you how much I get paid, but I do get paid from both of them. You know, that's a revenue stream there. Now, when it comes to YouTube, obviously this is the one where you can make kind of big money just from your views. Obviously Google AdSense, YouTube is like TV, you know, people are watching longer videos and stuff like you guys are watching right now. I hope I've kept you engaged to stay to this point, but you can get paid from AdSense. So essentially when you get to a certain point, you apply to be a YouTube partner, and then ads will be put onto your videos and you'll get paid. And the more views you get, the more you will get paid. But then again, with YouTube, you also can get brand deals, one-off brand deals, which you can get on any platform, TikTok, Instagram, where they just want you to do a story or a post or feature it in the video, and they'll just pay you for that, an amount based on whatever you're following and typical engagement is. So yeah, brand deals and sponsorships, the views directly, creator fund, AdSense, and that is your revenue streams there. Externally, I'm actually creating a coaching app. So I'm creating my app because I want to help people. I've been a personal trainer and online coach, but I now want to be able to affect more and more people because I'm getting a following. It's impossible for me to do personal training with as many people that seem to be interested. I only have a certain amount of time in a day. So I'm creating a software and an app that is capable of me coaching as many people across the world as possible. And then that is a further revenue stream. And as time goes on, you'll understand things like that. When you have an audience, you'll realize that certain people are going to be interested in investing into your services and your products. You know, you may want to bring out some merchandise one day. So yeah, that's another revenue stream. So there is a lot of money to be made on social media. But guys, I want you to take away from this video everything I've said. If you guys want to commit to social media, you literally have to do that. You have to be fully committed. You have to be patient. You have to be creative. You have to understand that not everything's going to go well. Accept the ups and downs, and just like I said, just be so patient with the process. And if you're really passionate and dedicated about what it is that you post and about making social media your full-time job, then I have no doubt in my mind that you can 100% be successful. So if you've enjoyed this video, again, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you guys that are here watching this video, and comment down below what kind of video you want to see next, and I will see you all in the next video.